Welcome to the 42nd Annual Sun and Fun International Convention and Fly-In here at the beautiful Lakeland Linder Regional Airport. We're here at the Sun and Fun Campus. This is during Sun and Fun 2016. And tell you what, have you ever heard of the Florida Aviation Network? I'm sure you have, because that's how you're viewing this right now. Unless you're one of our many sister companies that like to take our very elaborate footage and put it out over their air. You see us on www.floridaaviationnetwork.com, and we bring compelling and very informative aviation safety related material. All of our content is based around safety, getting the word out, the knowledge, the experiences of some of the folks that have been around in aviation for many years and has a lot of experience to share to make you a better airman, or if you're not an airman yet, to let you know how to become an airman. And along with that same phase, we happen to have a very, very prestigious person here in our midst. We have the Dr. Donna Wilt.
Hey,
Donna,
good to see you.
it's always good to see you.
Yes, absolutely.
Donna, I know you're out. You've been in aviation for years.
Yeah.
We go back for years.
Right.
And what are you doing now for aviation?
Well, right now I'm still a professor at Florida Institute of Technology in the College of Aeronautics. Right, still working very strong in that area. I'm also very involved with the Society of Aviation and Flight Educators.
That sounds like SAFE to me.
Yes, that's what
Is that
goes
safe?
by the acronym SAFE. Exactly.
And I say that one more time.
SAFE, as in be safe, help pilots be safe,
And SAFE stands
Society
for
of Aviation
Society Aviation
and Flight Educators.
Flight Educators.
Right, so all aviation educators, not just flight instructors, maintenance, college professors like myself, and of course I'm also a flight instructor, but also have I got my maintenance certificate now too, so covered that side
Let me
of it.
see these hands.
Am I counting?
Yeah, she's a mechanic. she can do it. She can do it. Don't mind getting your hands dirty.
No, I don't mind getting my hands dirty at all.
Excellent. And I remember now you did that last year.
Yes.
You got your A&P.
Right. Actually, what I have is my light sport aircraft repairman certificate airplane.
But
Say
that's
that
still
fast.
a certification.
It is absolutely a maintenance
there's an acronym.
certification.
But you are a certified mechanic.
Yes, I am.
That's great.
Yeah. So
And,
always learning.
And it's always learning and education. Donna, what is SAFE doing right now?
Okay. Right now, we're doing a lot of things for our members. We are reaching out, helping our members. We have benefits. We have online programs that we're providing for them. We are right now working on a symposium, another symposium. We had a major symposium in the past. I think we're going to talk about the new one later on in this. The other big thing we're doing that I want to make sure we talk about is all of the advocacy we're doing. A lot of people have heard about maybe the new airman certification standards that are coming out. SAFE has been working for the last several years helping to develop those airman certification standards. We helped work on the loss of control program that's out there, the SAFE as representatives of our members. And also we have helped in all of the revisions to the handbooks. There's most of the handbooks, the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, the Aviation Flying Handbook, the Instrument Procedures, all of them are coming out this summer again, or early fall. And we had a major piece in revising those, bringing them up to speed.
So you and the FAA work closely
Yes,
together.
very closely together. We're on the FAA working groups that are sanctioned working groups. We are the official, I'm one of the official SAFE representatives on those committees.
And get involved with practical test standards?
Yes.
You get all.
We have worked on the Airman Certificate. They're now going to be called the Airman Certification Standards, ACS.
Not practical test
Not
standards
practical
anymore.
test standard anymore, because we're bringing in more pieces. It's more about a system now, where we're not just doing the check ride. And eventually the same format is going to be applied to maintenance. So other airmen, it'll be an all-encompassing system of training that will be similar across the different disciplines. right? And to the latest educational standards. It's all very well thought out, very well laid out. So it's not piecemeal anymore like it was in the past.
Yeah, it was pretty much avionics, mechanics, airframe,
Yes.
structures, and pilot operational.
Yes.
They were all kind of out there in
Yes.
the different worlds.
And then,
but it's,
and then like within the PTS, it was very broken up. You had a lot of things in the beginning in the introduction, and I think you and I worked on some of the original special emphasis. Remember the special emphasis program that I think it started at the Orlando Fisco, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, so that was some work I remember you did, and I helped you with it over at FIT. And so that became in the beginning of it, but it never really got worked into the tasks and elements. And so now all that's being put together, it's all being meshed.
So it's coming together.
It's a very good product. I'm really impressed with it.
Donna, do you do this by yourself, or how many members do you have now with SAFE?
We now have 1,000 members.
1,000 members?
1,000 members.
Since 19...
We started in 2009.
Okay.
And that was when the group originally formed. We had our first 10 by 10 tent at AirVenture with a couple of borrowed tables, and we've come a long way from there.
That's great. And those 1,000 members, where are they located
All
primarily?
over, primarily in the United States, but all over the world. We have members in Europe, the Caribbean, South America. It's really amazing because we are primarily a virtual organization. We're not a brick and mortar. There's no physical
headquarters.
place. Yeah, we have a physical address where the bookkeeper and all of that happens. But other than that, everything's online, so anybody can join from anywhere and access the benefits of being in SAFE. It's, once you're a member, you log into the member side and you can get to everything.
And nowadays, trying to recite the website, you just Google or do any type of search engine for SAFE.
Yeah, do
aviation.
Safepilots.org is the...
Safepilots.org.
Yeah.
We got that, and I'm sure they're feverishly back in the production trailer typing up.
We also have,
Safepilots.org.
if we just kind of go stream of conscious here for a second,
Sure.
because not only we have safepilots.org is the website,
Okay.
we have Safe Pilots blog, which is .org, but that you can just Google on it, or you can get to it from the website. Right? And we've got some really good features. And I just, like I said, while we're doing stream of consciousness here, we just put out yesterday a how-to for to do student pilots in IACRA. So if you're a flight instructor, you know what I'm talking about. The new rule that just went into effect April 1st, a couple days ago, that student pilots now have to be entered into IACRA. So we have a step-by-step how to do that.
So you don't go to an AME or a medical examiner to get your student pilot certificate anymore.
That's right. No more going to the AME. You still have to get the medical before you solo. But the step now is to go with the flight instructor, sit down, and it's going to be good practice for the student because they're going to have to do this again when they get their license.
The interaction.
Right, the interaction. Put the information in with your proper information to show that you're a citizen or the proof of citizenship, all of that.
It's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's step by step to get through it. So
and
it's a really handy guide.
And it's not that it's hard to do, but you just have to know how to do it.
Right, and that's where SAFE can help.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. We have resources for just that type of thing. You know, if you need training material, you can go on, find the training material that you can use, and just, it's right there.
Donna, what do you think about what's going on here with the campus and the high schools across the street?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's
It is,
fantastic. This is part of bringing young people into aviation, helping them realize what's out there. I know my students, in some ways, it's great. They get the whole week off. I cancel classes all week, so I get no complaints on that. And then I give them extra credit to come over here. I tell them every one of these booths is connected to a job.
Excellent.
You know, every one of these is a way to get involved in aviation.
And the integrity, Donna, I know that at FIT, you folks have an excellent, you're rich with history of integrity.
Yes.
How in the world do you do it? I mean, you guys, Embry-Riddle has esprit de corps, but integrity, when you think when somebody says
Well,
they
I
come
thank
from
you for
FIT,
saying that. I thank you for saying that.
really,
you know,
that
that's
you,
good. You know.
you know that they've gotten a good foundation, and it's not just somebody going because mom and dad had a lot of money and wanted to send
Oh,
me to
it's
college.
not. And most of our students are doing it with loans.
Mhm.
They're putting a lot of money to go to a school of this quality,
Mhm.
and you do it, I guess, by practicing what you preach, which is what I do. I believe that we've got to do it right. We've got to be safe. We spread that word every day. You have to really learn the material. I'm sorry, but my
Yeah.
students have to study,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you've really got to know it so that when you go out there, I'm flying in that airspace, you're flying in that airspace. I'm depending on you to know it, and so
Yeah.
that's sort of how we do it, and just live what you preach. You
Walk.
know?
What's the old saying?
Walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
And I try to do that every day. And when
Well-
it comes to aviation and aviation safety, promoting,
I assure you, you
Aviation.
do. Whenever
know.
I'll be in various settings, and if and there's been times that the term Dr. Wilt has come up, and you mean Donna? Yeah, at FIT, and I've never heard a disparaging word.
Thank you.
It's always
Well,
positive,
thank you.
and so you are having an impact.
Thank you.
It's working.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing, don't change it.
Okay.
What else can we expect for SAFE in the future?
Well,
What's
in the
coming
future, the big thing coming up is a second major symposium. We did a symposium in 2009. We brought together key players in the FAA side, on the training side, and we sat down and looked at what are the problems. What are the problems with the writtens? What are the problems with the orals? What are the problems with safety? Out of that came what is now the ACS. Right? Out of that came revising all the handbooks. And so now it's the next step. It's the implementing of those. We've got to get that into as many hands as possible. So before AirVenture up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, we're going to have a 2-day symposium at the local community college, which is right next to the airport. And there we'll be looking at how do we now expand on the curriculum, how do we create more of that culture, especially of wanting to do continuous training, the recurrency training, ongoing flight training, maintenance training, the lifelong learning. You know, it's like getting my maintenance certificate, going up and flying all the time, not getting rusty, promoting the loss of control. The other part of this is that we're always interested in, and I've worked hard on, is the initial flight instructor. How do you mentor that initial flight instructor? How do you help get them up to speed? There's a lot that you learn after you get your CFI certificate. Some of that is going to be when we're doing the instructor ACS, and we're bringing in more of that to it. What do they call it? The tribal knowledge. How do we go from the tribal knowledge and having to learn on that first student, so that this instructor can do a better job, pass it on, and
It's interesting to talk to the flight instructors that they don't realize, they think they know a lot about aviation when they get their CFI, and you're supposed to.
I did. I probably did too.
But but until you get 35, 40, 50, 100, 200 students under your belt, and the way that you think about it at that point is a little bit different than it was out of the gate. I mean, the knowledge base is there, but the interaction with people, the being able to discuss scenario-based training. I want to bring that up with you as well. That scenario-based training, I think we get so much when you talk about transferring tribal knowledge.
Right.
And I went to an event at one point, and they were folks up there talking like you and I, and I was trying to pull out of you a scenario of, okay, here's the given. Here we are. We're at 8,000 foot altitude,
Okay.
IFR. We're in the clear. However, we're approaching weather, and you hear something unusual about the aircraft, and then ATC gives you an amendment to your clearance. And you start realizing that you're starting to get loaded up. Some things are changing from the norm, and how you, the recipient of this, what are you going to do with all of this information and this change of information? How do you handle it? How do you funnel it? What's a priority? What's not?
Yeah.
What do you have to do by rules, regulations? What do you by safety standards? What do you do with common sense?
Yep.
You know, scenario-based training, I think is so important,
Yeah.
and I don't know if we do enough of that.
Yeah, and I see some people getting caught up in the catchphrase, because you're right, we don't do enough of it, but I think sometimes people get scared of the scenario idea. They think, oh, scenario means it takes more time. It doesn't have to do that. Scenario is about putting it in context. And so we want to teach in context of what you're saying. Nothing happens in isolation, so maybe we can learn these pieces in isolation initially, but then you've got to put them together, and everything relates to each other. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. We've got to do.
Airlines, when they set you in the simulator doing the airline check, you're trying to qualify for a job. And of course, the first thing that they're trying to do is to make sure that you can do the basics. But then when you are hired and you're doing your checks, or you go for your recurrency, they start loading you up with failures. And I know some professional airline folks, I'm not going to mention my name, that they worry every time they have to go for recurrent because they're afraid that something's going to be thrown at them that they don't know how to handle. And I know others that put me in a recurrent training situation anytime. I don't care. We'll do it now if you want. You know, they're just so confident that they have the requisite skills, and they have the ability to sort things out and not get wrapped up and involved in the emergency rather than handling the emergency.
Right.
That's what I look for groups like you and your organization to try and get that to the ones that are coming up that might be afraid. For example, just talking with Patty Wagstaff.
Okay.
You know Patty Wagstaff?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was fixing to say, last time I asked you that, you slapped me.
Oh.
Because you and Patty are good close friends. But we were talking about doing spins.
Okay.
And how people are afraid of spins. And she says that's exactly why we have our upset school, is to talk them through that. And as from an educational standpoint,
right. Upset training,
you're doing the same thing.
Transition training, recurrent training.
Sure.
A lot of the things you're talking about, just they're things we can train. The decision, how to handle an emergency. These are the fancy word is cognitive skills, but it's just the thinking skills, the organization skills. I actually teach a course in situation awareness. A lot of what we're talking about is situation awareness. Again, another catchphrase, but I mean, I think, in fact, I presented a presentation at your last CFI refresher course over at your Fishdow on situation awareness.
It's special emphasis program.
Yeah, the special, So I was just over there doing that based on what I'm doing in my graduate course and bringing it in specifically to the flight instructors for that one. But how do you do that? And then you won't stress out, because stress in itself, it feeds on itself. So you've got to break the chain. Again, we always talk about breaking the chain for accidents. It goes back to all the other things we're talking about too. Not being afraid of the spins, because that in itself tenses you, that causes you to do something else, and then there goes the chain. So we're going to break that chain as early as possible, and you can train to do that.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
And Donna, isn't it, I know you teach quite a bit, and I don't. I talk a lot, but I don't teach a lot.
But it's wisdom, right?
Well, and just overall fear of the unknown. And I think that's a natural trait, it's a human trait of fear of the unknown. That's why some people have a fear of the dark, because they don't know what's out there.
Right.
Others, for some reason, it's an innate, I guess, sense of confidence that, the dark really don't bother me that much. And so how do you pair out psychologically, and you're a lot better at this.
I don't know, that's a good question. If I had the answer, I'd probably be rich. But
you are rich. Look at all the friends you have.
Yes,
You're
absolutely.
rich.
Absolutely.
but how do we get to that level of acknowledgement or awareness of the basic knowledge level that they need? Trying to determine from a young person who's going to be a stellar pilot and who
That's really,
doesn't have.
well, it's young person is
don't
very
have
hard
it, yeah.
because you're maturing. And so, you know, when you look at the young population from, say, maybe 18 to 21, 23, you know, their whole brain and what they think is going to happen, and they're invulnerable. They don't, they just don't get it yet. And so part of that is mental maturity, the development of the brain. And there's all kinds of cognitive theories on those things. But, you know, the practical side is we all grow up and things happen and we finally
No,
say,
we don't.
wait a minute.
No, I'm not going to grow up. I'm still 23 years old. I'm never going to grow up. But there's just so much that I admire about what you and your colleagues do
Yes.
to try and get through those
Yeah.
barriers.
But
And
a lot of it, I
recommend.
want to say, is a culture. That's the airlines have done a really good job with the culture side of it, which is a lot of what you're talking about. It becomes the norm. Instead of showing off by doing something negative, you show off by doing something that's positive and safe. You know, doing it the right way. And so you can see it in their reduction in accidents. Right now, we need to take that same culture and bring it into general aviation. The whole safety management system. Have you heard that buzzword?
I recall that from a time
Yeah.
or two.
So how do we bring those things that work, just exactly what you're talking about, and bring that into general aviation? And doing so, bring down our accident rate, make it safer. In the long run, I think it will make it's better for our passengers, it's better for everybody. We're also bringing that into maintenance, the whole safety management system concept. And really, even the ACS is based around that same concept of a management system. Right? So it's all working together, and I think that's the answer to your question.
I think it is. And SMS, it was a buzzword 3 or 4 years ago, and everything was SMS this. And the buzz has kind of faded, but I hope that it's left an imprint of how we do things, how we get things done. And the thing that I caution folks on SMS is don't make it too difficult. Don't complicate the situation any more than it's already complicated. And I think ICAO is finally caught on. Their SMS manual, that thick, and it would take you a half a year really to go through the entire manual. So, but now their manual is down to about that thick, and so they've cut out a lot of the psychological aspects and cutting it down more to the grassroots element level.
That's what you need.
A process control, and there's so much that we're learning about this, and you think we get it right someday. We've only been doing this for 100 years or so. But
Absolutely. And I know sometimes, I'm the professor and I talk at the higher level, but I understand we've got to bring it down. We've got to make it simple. We've got to make it something that's easy to implement, doesn't take a lot of time, and becomes just the norm. Like I said, walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's what it needs to be.
And speaking of which, and have you walked over to the hangar over at the Lakeland Flying Club? Have you been to the new hangar?
No,
over
but
there?
I walked by it and saw there was a new hangar, and I looked in the door and I said, I got to get back there.
Yeah, it wasn't there last year. It just,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was,
So, but I do, I think when you get a chance to go over there, and there's a PA-18 that the students have rebuilt, overhauled, and it's gorgeous. And, and according to the folks that are running the flying club over there, it's all students. They did all the work on it. Teenagers, kids.
A lot of the high schools now have aviation programs that
Sure.
are outstanding, and I think that's a really good deal. And let me mention that SAFE, we have two grants we give out every year to K-12 teachers to help them bring aviation into the classroom. So anybody that's interested in that can either stop by our booth for material, or you just go on our website and you can find out how to apply for the grants.
Well, and you guys are doing so much. Tell us about what you're going to be doing the rest of this week. I don't want to date the film here. Film. Oh, that was a slip. I don't want to date the digits that we're laying down here. used to be film, but
Yeah, or the video. I've got old videotapes still of.
remember the old VHS tapes?
Yes, and doing them over in the
Oh,
center
yeah.
right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, every year. This.
Donna, I even remember 8-track tapes, and that's scary. 8 tracks.
I'm not admitting to anything anymore.
But I tell you, getting to the youth is where it's all
Yeah.
about. And I just mentioned with Patty, Boeing is starting an ab initio training.
Yes,
They're
and
still
I
worried
think
about
JetBlue
pilots.
is starting something. Lufthansa is, I believe, the ones that pioneered that.
Yeah.
Our university had an ab initio program with Turkish Airlines.
Mhm.
So the concept has been around. The concept is proven. It works. I think we're headed that way.
Mhm.
The business model of the past is not going to work in the future,
No.
and it's all about the business model.
And it's not that kids can't find the way to the airlines the normal way without being ab initio through a big company. It's just going to take a little bit more
Yeah.
dedication, and I guess dedication is the bottom line.
Yes.
They got to want it bad enough. They got to know where to go. They got to know how to get the information.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I keep kind of revolving back around to safe.
Yes, that's. So you asked earlier, what are we doing the rest of this week? We are over in Hangar A, 59, right in the center aisle. We're promoting how come by, see how we can help our members. We're obviously having people join up. We have a couple more seminars going on of different safe members giving seminars. I'm doing 2 seminars, one tomorrow, one Friday, one Saturday at 1 p.m.
Where are they located?
They're over in the high school in the forums.
Okay.
One's in room 8, one's in room 9, so basically right next to each other. Mine's a little different. I'm also in the 99s. I'm also the chapter chair for the local chapter of the
I didn't know
99s.
that.
Yeah.
I did not know
For the
that.
Spaceport
Okay.
chapter. And so as part of our outreach as the 99s, we have a program called Sidekicks. So this is right seat flying for non-pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
The
not
old
your
pitch
pitch. It's
hitter
not, yeah, but
course.
it's not the old pitch hitter course. It's a new, up-to-date. It's only an hour right now, and it's more about not just what to do in an emergency, but how, as a passenger, you can be a resource to the pilot, and how you can help make a better, safer flight while you're being a passenger, and learn more about it.
And how? And this is done in the cockpit. I mean, you actually go flying.
No, this is in a classroom. So the next step, if you're interested, would be to go do more. We only have an hour for that. The goal is to expand it maybe next year or the year after, to have more modules, essentially more pieces to it, and eventually put a whole day together. That's the model we're working towards.
And do you find, because typically, I hate to use the word typical in this business especially, but typically the pitch hitter course, or the sidekick course, are ladies or women that like to fly with their husbands. I've seen a lot of women lady flyers that their husbands are the
And
sidekicks.
we have some come in, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's a refreshing little reverse there.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And my husband gets that a lot. He's
Yeah.
a pilot. He's a private pilot. So, but I was just telling something. We can. Sometimes he's in the left seat. Sometimes I'm in the left seat, and so it works very well. And
What are you flying now?
well,
Well, right
Like
now we're
you-
flying a chair. But
yeah.
what
well, a couple years ago, my husband and I built an Aryan Lightning. It's experimental amateur built, but you can also build it at the factory. You can do different versions of it. So we're really excited about that. It's got the Dynon avionics in it, which are awesome.
glass panel?
It is synthetic vision
Yeah.
in a general aviation airplane. It's just amazing what you can do with what you can get
Well, that's
for
great.
experimental aircraft. And then last year, I went and I happened upon a very nice 150, old Cessna 152.
Straight tail?
No,
Oh,
152, not 150.
152. Oh, okay.
So,
Never mind.
yeah,
All
so
straight tail.
1978. My plan is to start a flying club in Sebastian, Florida, with that aircraft as like a one airplane flying club to do sort of how I got my license, inexpensive flying, just one aircraft, do your training, have fun.
Well,
That's the plan.
when I get the interstate cadet put together, we'll go out and fly.
Okay.
That'd be
Sounds good.
a one airplane flying club.
Yeah. Thank
Donna,
you.
thank you so much for spending some
Yeah,
time
it's
here
been
with
great.
us. and we will come out to the booth and see what's
Yes,
going on.
please do.
In the trader-plane hangar. Hangar 8.
Okay, all right.
Perfect. And that's going to wrap up this interview. And as in the formation flying, we're going to knock it off. We're going to peel out. I love doing that on the knock it off. I'm Ben Coleman, one of your hosts, Florida Aviation Network. We'll see you next interview.